So my quest for 2000 in Chess 960 continues, and today I'm going to show you a game that I was really quite thrilled to win because it was emotionally important to me because my rating has kind of collapsed over the last week. I think the problem was I was starting to get into chess more. I was enjoying the positions more. I was enjoying just playing chess. And it was I was playing well until I was running out of time at the end. And I was just losing, and it was horrible. And I couldn't fix it. I was down to about 1770 at one point, which for me is just ridiculously low. And I was struggling even to stay over 1800. But then I switched to a 5 minute time control plus a 15-second increment, and my results are much better after that. I've clawed my way back to about 1870 and I'm still rising, so hopefully I can fix my rating fairly soon. But this game was emotionally very important because I was fixing my rating. I was starting to prove that I could play this game to myself, and this was a high rated opponent, the highest rated opponent I've faced in a 5/15 time control. So I really wanted to do well in this game. I wanted to prove to myself that it was about the time. I was just too short of time in the other games, and I can play chess 960. So, and here's my opponent, Mr. Verlater, the champion of Horde on lichess, who's more than 128 points higher than anyone else. And if you look at his history, these are not. This is not an inflated bullet rating. These are all like 5 minutes plus 5, 5 minutes plus 2. These are all 6 minutes plus 4. These are all, fairly long time control rated games. So this is not an inflated rating. I mean, horde ratings generally might be inflated, but this guy is genuinely the best because he's playing long games to prove it. And I honestly never thought I would beat someone with the big gold Champions Trophy on his profile, but I didn't know that it was him when I was playing him in our games. We played 2 games, and I'll show you the first one now. So I assumed he's rated just under 2000 in chess 960. So I assumed that this is the guy that I should be beating if I'm going to make it to 2000. So this is a very emotionally important game to me, and it just went horribly wrong our first game. He was white. He opened with this, and I was really trying now on every single move. I was looking at what he could attack me with, and I was looking at how I could exploit his potential weaknesses. I was really studying every single move and making an effort to make sure that I didn't miss anything on any single move. A fairly routine opening. Immediately here, he's causing me problems. I mean, if you look at how he actually played, zero inaccuracies, 0 mistakes, 0 blunders, a 12 center pawn loss. I mean, that is basically how a computer would play. But he certainly wasn't cheating, because I mean that was obvious from his next game. He just was that good. But I was basically playing against a human chess computer in this game, and immediately he's putting me kind of in an irritating or an awkward position, because I don't want him to take here and double my pawns where I might be castling. So, on the third move, he's forcing me to do something that I don't want to do, which is put my queen there. But it seemed so he's immediately coming for me. I'm trying to repulse him a bit and try to get some control of the center, potentially playing that at some point. Yeah, and then this. So I thought here, well, that seems like a good move, because he'll go there, and then I can get my knight to the center. So I was quite happy with this. And then he played this, and I was stunned. I just didn't see this. I was going out of my way to look for things that he could do to attack me on every move. And we're on move 9, and already I've missed just the simplest move. I was just completely stunned by this. I was speechless. And, my position is just terrible here. I mean, the move the computer is suggesting is just nothing. I'm pretty much lost here. So I was kind of psychologically broken at this point. I played a move that it seemed to be something, because he can't take it because of that, and I got excited for a moment. But of course, he can just do this, and I have nothing, and I'm still psychologically broken, and just moving my queen back in a rather pathetic way. So he captures, and I'm just stunned at this point. I'm kind of, I'm just utterly miserable. I try so hard, and this is what I'm capable of. I've just completely thrown away a game on move 9. So I'm psychologically broken at this point, and I'm not really playing good chess at all. And I'm utterly crestfallen. I'm trying to get something, but I wouldn't normally play this move. That's a desperate attacking move when you know you're lost and you think, well, I may as well go for it. Um, I'm not going to go through these variations because I'm just totally lost. And of course, I'm looking really silly because Maruk's hanging here, so I'm going to have to do something about that, and he's just coming in to destroy me. And I'm so psychologically broken. I'm even missing one move tactics like taking there. I'm just stunned. I've been blown away. So I think I played on for a few more moves, but it's just completely lost here. Yeah, and I resigned here. So I'm utterly miserable at this point. I'm thinking, what is the point? What am I even doing? But I rematched him because you can't quit like that when you're just feeling, oh, you want to quit chess forever. So I thought, well, I'm obviously going to lose this next game, but let's at least let's try and play my best game and gain some self-respect back and at least give him a game. So in this game, I was white, and I was really trying in this game. If I'd got to the end of this game without missing anything, I would have been happy even if I'd lost. It was really important to me in this game not to miss anything. Just to have a basic aptitude when it comes to playing chess 960. So he's immediately challenging my center. I play that forward. We have a rook exchange here, and I was beginning to get excited at this point because his king is weak here, I thought, and it seemed to me that there might be some attacking possibilities here, because he can't really. He's struggling to castle, because to castle he would have to take his. Well, sorry, before he moved that pawn forward, he would have had to take his pawn out there, and I could have captured. So he wasn't able to castle in the early moves, and I sensed that was perhaps an opportunity. And even when he moves his knight there to try and castle, I can still pin it. So I was getting excited here. I thought, I'm probably better here to some small degree, although the computer analysis doesn't. Well, I'm half a pawn better, it thinks. But I'm the one with all the initiative here. He's the one who's a bit tangled. So he's trying to untangle, and I'm trying to bring my queen into the squares he's weakened by doing that. And I'm getting excited here. I'm thinking, I perhaps have some kind of chance here. I'm obviously going to blow it because look at what I did in the last game. But at least I'm giving him a game at this point, and I seem to be better. So I move my queen in there, threatening to go in there, check. He plays that to stop that, and then I did that knowing that he was going to be doing that. But before all this, I'd calculated that I could go there, and when he did that, which was what he did, I could take it with the knight, and I'd calculated that was good for me. But as soon as I played this, like instantly, like a second later, almost as if he'd pre-moved it, he did that, and I was completely stunned. I didn't see that. I just did not look at that move. And it's interesting that the computer evaluation says it's winning for me, but that's perhaps a computer line. That's like, I think maybe you have to see like maybe 7 moves ahead to see why it's good for me. And at this point, I just thought, oh no, I've completely blown a really good position because I didn't look at his threats. How terrible is that? I just did not look at a simple move, and at this point, I believed I'd completely blown the position. So I was utterly miserable again. I was just stunned again. An approaching psychological breakdown, frankly, because I thought I was just losing here. I'll show you this computer line, but this line is good for white. This is almost 2.5 pawns ahead for white in terms of the computer evaluation, because I'm picking white. And this is a nice position for white to play, but you know, I didn't see that at all. What I did was, oops, I didn't take his pawn on d6. I moved that back, thinking I could come in there with a check, and that looked somewhat menacing. His king is short of squares, so he took that, which I'd anticipated. But at this point, I sensed there might still be something because his king is open and short of squares here. Although I couldn't see what the winning combination might be. So I'm just trying to get some kind of attack on his king right now and bring my pieces in. But you know, he plays this move, and I realise that there really isn't so much here. I mean, I check him here, he blocks. I check him again. I was even better from a engine analysis point of view, just taking his queen here, which leaves me with really not much at all. Although it does say that I'm 3/4 of a pawn better if I do that. What was that position? Yeah, because his knight's trapped in this position. So I did still have something there, but I instinctively kept my queen on the board because I basically thought I was lost here if I can't checkmate him, and I am pretty much lost here. If you look at the engine evaluation, I'm down to I'm a pawn and a half down at this point, and it's going to get a lot worse. So I mean, there was really nothing if I played that move. That's the engine suggestion, but I'm still completely lost in this position, and that's apparently worse from an engine point of view. I was hoping to bring my bishop in, etc., but it's completely lost. So I'm just keeping pieces on the board right now, trying to do something. And then I sacked here. The engine doesn't like this move at all, but I think from a practical point of view, I mean, I'm lost and have nothing, so I'm basically going for the attack. And you know, suddenly here, I don't have anything from an objective point of view, but you know, I have 3 pieces going for his king. I'm picking up this pawn, so it's a pawn and a piece for the rook. You know, in this kind of position, things can go wrong for you, for your opponent. This is the kind of position where you can still at least fight on. So I think, from a practical point of view, the rook sack was perhaps okay. So I'm just trying to bring more pieces into my attack on his king, although I'm completely lost right now, basically. Yeah, so now I have 4 pieces coming in, but you know, he has exchange. Oops, he has exchanges coming up. So I bring my knight in, and then suddenly he plays a blunder, and it is one of those blunders that is just a position collapsing blunder, because I mean, he should have moved his bishop to there, in which case I have nothing at all. But he played his rook to there, and fortunately from this point on I was able to play accurately. I captured their check, which wins his rook. So I took the rook, and he took my bishop. But then I can play this, and 2 of his pieces are hanging. So he checks me there, and I'm able to block with my knight. If he'd checked me there, he could have perhaps swung back into the defense, but he didn't do that. So suddenly, I'm beginning to think that there might be. At this point, I still didn't think I was the favourite, even though I was up by 7 points. I still thought, you know, how am I going to blow this position? It seems like I'm slightly better here, I thought, but how am I going to blow this position? What can I do? So he's trying to attack me, but you know, I can just pick up that piece because so many of his pieces are hanging that he's actually moving one and giving me a choice of the ones to take, because otherwise I would just be picking up the other piece. And then here I'm suddenly a piece up, and I'm thinking, is it possible that I'm going to win this game? Is it possible? I mean, I'm completely winning, but of course, you know, I'm the one who's playing. So how am I gonna find a way to lose this game? somehow. But I checked him there, and then just set up a simple tactic because I was in time trouble right now. I was basically living on a 15-second increment. I wasn't going to be calculating when my position is winning. So I just played that to get an extra 15 seconds and set up a one-move trick, and unfortunately he fell for it. I got that and got his queen, and he resigned. So you know, that is a game that I'm really happy to win, because you know, it's not because I played great that I'm happy to win. It's more about a psychological victory. I mean, when you're psychologically broken and you're just playing to try to redeem yourself in some minor way and just play a game without, you know, hanging a piece or just giving a ridiculous advantage with one move. When you actually win that game, you know, it feels really good, and it's not a meaningless achievement. I mean, I didn't play the game particularly well. It was a 51 average center pawn loss, but it was more of a psychological achievement to, you know, come back when you've been smashed, basically, when you're psychologically broken, and you know, you just think, why am I even playing chess? So I will be resuming making live videos soon, but I wanted to share this game with you. So if you have anything to say, comment on YouTube, like, subscribe. Thanks a lot.